the original All-Star format or the new All-Star format?
You get so many different rules, and every year you got something about the game that's changing.
Uh-huh.
Give that person that nobody knows an opportunity, because we hear these stories time and time again about how the best players never made it to the NBA for whatever reason or these circumstances. What if there's a player in the G League that's better than the opportunity he's been given?
Mm.
Now he may be on that team to go and play LeBron, play Greek Freak, whatever, and this person might show the world like, hey, this is real. Like, we go. We just
Right,
might not have been in the right situation to have our talents be exposed to this type of platform.
right.
So I would say I'm going with the new one right now because it could give a person an opportunity that may have never came across it.
What's up, scorers? Welcome back to another amazing interview. Today we have a very, very special guest, Colorado State University legend, former pro basketball, and now owner of Grindhouse Basketball. Please welcome Marcus Walker. How you doing, bro?
Thank you for having me.
Man, it's a pleasure having you on, bro. I heard a lot about you through a mutual friend, my man Willis Gardner. Told me a lot about you when we were in school. I watched some of the stuff when you guys played on TV, and nothing but amazing, bro. How's things on your end when it comes to building Grindhouse basketball?
Man, everything is amazing. First and foremost, I always keep God first. After that, it's family, my son, and then, like you said, grindhouse basketball. It's my everything. It's something that I do every day. It's something that I cherish, and just being able to be a person in a young person's life and just be a role model, be somebody that can count on. I think that's major for me because that's what I always wanted when I was a player.
Right, and they got a good mentor in you because you play at the highest level of collegiate basketball, which is Division One, and you went to Nebraska University first.
Yes, sir. Went to Nebraska first. Uh,
Uh-huh.
spent the year there. That was 05, 06. Then I went to junior college, which was Indian Hills. That was in Ottumwa, Iowa, which eventually led me to Colorado State in Fort Collins.
What made you leave Nebraska? Because that's a different route. I mean, you're already at Division One, and then you go to junior college afterwards. What made you leave there?
Um, just just having the opportunity to play my way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think with me being in the position that I'm in right now, just guiding players to go places that fit their game. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can kind of get caught up in the names and what other people see for you, but at the end of the day, I don't think at that moment I did as much research I could as far as how the style of play. And so I
Right.
think that's what ultimately led me to transfer. I mean, I had a good experience there. Like, I started when I first got there, had a lot of minutes, met a lot of great people, built a lot of great relationships. But at the end of the day, for me to have the opportunities that I had post college, I think that, it was in my best interest to leave.
So, talk to me a little bit about that because I think that's important to for players out there to understand when you're getting recruited, you should be looking for your style of play. At that time, what was your style of play versus what Nebraska wanted out of you?
More run and gun transition, a lot of
That's
man.
your style of play, as far as like running the gun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like getting out and moving. I mean, I'm every bit of 6 foot. I primarily like playing the two. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a scoring guard, and so I like to get out in the open floor, be able to, you know, do a lot of my thing on transition, and then too, like I said, on defense, being able to play man to man press, do things like that. And I think at that time it was more like a half court style of game,
Uh-huh.
very strategic. We played a lot of zone defense. So I think at the end of the day, the things that made me the player I wasn't being put in that position.
Gotcha. And Colorado State definitely puts you in that position because I saw that you scored 43 points.
Yeah, yeah. It was
40.
it was a struggle though. Like, that was the beginning of a new era. Like, when we got there, we had new coaching staff, we had a roster full of new players.
Uh,
It was a lot of growing pains, a lot of losing.
yeah, I'm
But
about to say, I already know.
hey, it definitely helped me for the person that I am now. Like, when you think about athletics, a lot of times people just think about the things that's going on the court, but it
Right.
gave me an opportunity to kind of see what type of man I would be, what my character was like, uh, you know, when you faced with difficult times, you know, people change, you know what I'm saying? They kind of they give up on themselves. But I think that was a very important time in my life too, outside of basketball, to figure out who I was as a man.
Gotcha. So what happened? So talk to me about that night you scored 43 points though, because I think that's important too for people to understand. It's hard. It's hard scoring 43 points in college. Like it's one thing to do it in high school, it's one thing to do it in the street ball league, but in college at your level, talk to me about how the coaches gave you like the green light, what you was feeling that day. Do you remember anything particular that kind of put you at that level?
Uh, no, I think at that time that was my very first year at Colorado State.
Uh-huh.
We were in, if I'm not mistaken, we was in the Great Alaska Shootout, and
Yeah.
so it was just for us to find a team identity. I don't think us as a team or us as individuals within the team had a identity per se. But when it came to practice and stuff like that, I always was super intentional about winning drills, going hard. Um, and just giving it my all. You know, you never know in this game, like when it's gonna be your last, man. You got so many things that can happen, freak injuries, things of that nature. But I don't remember nothing specific that I did. I kind of always kept my same routine.
Mhm.
I always based my game off of aggression and just being mentally strong. And so
Right.
I know, like, once the game started, I felt so good. I had hit a couple shots. I knew it was going to be a good game, but you know, once things start going, you know, my teammates, my coaches, they were just super, you know, super encouraging and super on deck with what was about to happen. So I'm pretty grateful for that. Like, we had so many people on our team that was selfless. Even like I said, with us losing and going through certain things, I don't remember us having like anybody like turning on each other or arguments or stuff like that. So, you know, that night it was crazy because like you said, you have these thoughts, you have these dreams of what college is like, you know, accomplishing things individually. So like to go through it, you know, it was super like special because I remember getting calls and my family and you know, people seeing it on
Was it a
ESPN.
TV game?
Uh, I think it was. Of course, it wasn't like an ESPN game or nothing because I think we played Tennessee State, and
Yeah.
so of course, you know, when it comes to ratings and TV and stuff, Colorado State against Tennessee State is not a a game that's gonna
Sold
be.
out game, huh?
I think it was as far as like maybe like regional network or something like that.
Okay. Okay. Well, still, nonetheless, man, that's a hell of an accomplishment, bro.
Yeah,
If
it
that's
did feel
probably,
good. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah, is that, and were they trying to get you 50 that night?
Man, you know what? I wasn't. You know, sometimes like I remember in high school when you hooping and you got the scorers board, you know, I think right around that time you started having the new scoreboards come out where you see the points up top, but I never really paid attention during that game, like about the points. Um, I think that's something I should have probably paid attention to. This so hitting 50 in college is crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So
Crazy, bro.
that would have been a very, you know, a very great thing to accomplish. But
One of the things I wanted to go back on, because you said you every bit of 6 foot, is that's not undersized. That's not an undersized guard for college, but it's an undersized for the two guard position.
for sure.
How hard was that? Like getting coaches to believe in, like what's some of the challenges you had getting coaches to believe in that a 6 foot guard can take them to the next level, or 6 foot shooting guard, I should say.
Um, I think for me in my journey, it wasn't that hard. I always had like a super vibrant personality. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, even with what I'm doing now, not going to that because I know we'll speak about it. It's always been easy for me to get people to believe in what I wanted to do or what I wanted because I was so passionate about it. So like going through recruitment from high school to college, it wasn't that big of a deal because coming out of high school, I was averaging like 33 points a game
Uh-huh.
in high school. So I had already proven that I was a scorer. It's just like how does that translate to college? And so once I got to college, even I remember in Nebraska, even with being a younger player or a person that needed to prove itself, I never went into those situations like trying to prove myself. I already knew who I was. So it was like it's only a matter of time before you realize who I am or what I can do. So I ain't never really had no challenges with that. You know what I mean? It was just more or less, you know what I'm saying, my physical stature. My mom was so strong and I was so aggressive. I wasn't always like the physically gifted. You know what I mean? I went into college 155. So
Yeesh.
yeah, I was small, but you know what I'm saying? Once I got to Nebraska, like I immediately picked up the freshman 15. Like, you know what I'm saying? We was eating good. And yeah, like from there I got to like 170. And even like today, right now, currently, I'm like 175, 180. So I always been at that level, but I got stronger due to lifting weights and things like that.
Gotcha. So you played at the junior college level, and now they have the new rule where you don't lose any eligibility if you go
Mhm.
to junior college. I kind of understand what they're trying to do. Maybe get more mature players out there. Um, I think it'd be okay for basketball, but I think it hurts on the side where if you are a freshman, or let's say if you're a high school coming out of high school, and now you want to go to junior college to develop. That used to be a good route for those who probably didn't understand college basketball, probably don't have the grades, probably didn't get probably don't have the physical physique like you was talking about, and they can develop that.
Yeah,
Now you can get players who already have that physical physique. They already had a skill set. Now they just need to develop more. So those guys who was coming in for the first part that I was talking about is now on the end of the bench now.
yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you think it hurts college or helps college?
Uh, to be honest, man, I done had this conversation a couple times. I think it's situational. I think it hurts and it helps different people. If you're a high school player, like my mentality and the way that I'm thinking, because I deal with these age groups, you know, daily, it's like, well, what's the point of college coaches coming to AAU events? You know what I'm saying? Because you could be a top 100 kid, but if you damn sure could be a shoe in to get a Division One college, you know, scholarship if you top 100. But now I think that goes to like, you know, maybe top 30 because now, like you said, you can go to the portal or you can go to junior college where this person ain't got 2 years. Now this person that's 18 is 20, 21. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, why would I go get the 17, 18-year-old when I can get the 21-year-old who now has gotten experience, gotten stronger, the mentality is a whole lot greater. It's like, you know, it's kind of tough. But you know, that's why I firmly believe like you start those conversations and you build that confidence as a young age because at the end of the day, when you're trying to reach certain levels of success, whether that's college, whether that's playing professional, you're eventually going to play that older person anyway.
Right.
So you have to come across that barrier at some point. But I think for that younger player, it gets harder for them because now you're going against a much older person. And I had an example because with us being in the Mountain West in college at Colorado State, you
Uh-huh.
know, we play BYU. Man, them people used to be old, bro.
Yeah,
They
I
used to
bet.
be old. They had families, kids. You'll be looking. They didn't win
Bet.
and did
There's
fishing.
Mormon culture over there.
You hear me? They
Uh-huh.
came back and you playing somebody that's 25, 26. They didn't did a mission and everything. And now they coming and
Mhm.
they playing in reality, it is an advantage because you just have the wisdom, you have the strength. And
Yep,
so,
grown
you
man
know,
strength.
when it comes down to winning and losing, man, and we talking about good teams, it ain't about the skill, it's about the mentality. And
Right.
so the experience also, like that mentality and experience is the difference between winning and losing in crunch time games. So, you know, I just guess it's situational, man. It's good and bad.
Hmm.
But like I tell people all the time, man, with life, you got to adapt. So with all these different changes and stuff like that, hey, you can complain about it or you can adapt with it. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, I think it'll force players to start playing pickup ball again against adults. Like when I was growing up, we was playing against older guys. Like,
Yeah.
so you got to when I got to college or when I played in high school games, I was able to get to the basket and finish because I was playing with grown men who had kids at home who played 5, 10 years
Yeah.
before me or whatever the case may be. And I think with the training culture, is more just everyone just individual doing their skill thing, doing the cones, doing the whatever with their training. But we need to get back to that. And I think this will force it.
Yeah, I think that's important. with me being a trainer and me being a visual trainer across the country, like I have those conversations. I'm like, hey, I never had a trainer. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot of the things that made me who I was from playing at the park or playing at the community center. I was like, man, I always remember myself being a younger player going against, like you said, this person that I might be 14 or something, this person 20. This
Right.
person then probably did college, or this might just be a person that's in the neighborhood that could go. They didn't had things that prevented them from getting to college, but now I'm getting elbowed. Or
Uh-huh.
I might have been that young player who I'm at the park all day and I'm just watching. They, oh no, you too young, you can't play right now. Oh
Right.
dang, I gotta wait. I waited the whole day. Now they got like two more games. I get to play the garbage games.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I
When
think
everybody
those
all tired.
things, yeah, I think those things is what builds the toughness that you need, you know what I'm saying, to be the player that you desire. I think there's a lot of skilled players. I train a lot of kids that are skilled, but the thing they lack is like the toughness in the heart. And that's, I feel like that's something that you can build it up, but I believe that that's something that's in your heart. Like,
Gotta be in your heart, bro.
it got it
It
gotta
gotta
be
come from
something
the
in your
environment.
heart, bro. The other stuff, the training, it builds the confidence. You know,
Mhm.
it creates habits. But if a parent is like, well, how can I get my kid to have heart? Hey man, that was their upbringing.
Yep. Is it?
That's-
It gotta
I
come from
can
the
build
environment, bro.
confidence, but I can't give you heart, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
after Colorado State, what was the next stop? I believe it was the D League, right?
Yep. Man, honestly, man, I had a very unique journey. Like after I left Colorado State, man, I was blessed even through us having like very terrible 2 years as far as basketball. Man, I ended up winning newcomer of the year. I think one year I led the league in scoring, and then the next year I was second. And then man, I had a journey where I didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have nobody before me, you know, that was going through what I was going through. So I kind of was like winging myself. So I ended up messing with an agent, put my faith in them, and I didn't have a job for a whole year. So I'm just at the house grinding, working out, um, you know what I'm saying, just waiting for opportunity. And then I was blessed with the G League opportunity where I ended up getting drafted. Uh, and then I forgot, like I was there with a couple other people, things didn't work out, and then I ended up going to Iceland.
Mhm.
Uh, and so at that point, I was just at the point of like, man, if I'm as good as what I think, or you know, I wanted to fulfill my dreams of, you know, playing professionally, I'm like, you know what, I'll take this opportunity. And at that time, like Iceland was a good starter place, but you know, a lot of people don't want to talk about, you know, the ugly side of overseas. Like when I tell you like relationships and people that I still talk to this day, Iceland was A1. But
Was
it's
it?
basketball, you know, it was a place that was like, uh, it ain't nothing going on down there. They ain't getting paid no money. You know, I remember being there and like being in the mental space of like, you know, this is junior college. You know, it's the survival of the fittest. If I want to continue to elevate in this game, like I'm going to have to come down here and I'm gonna have to kill. And so I remember when I got there, I ended up gratefully and luckily getting on the organization who was at the top. Like everybody knows that KR is like the Lakers of Iceland.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah, I ended up going there, man. And when I got there, I was put in a role that I had never been in my life. I was, hey, you're the defensive guy. I was very fast. That's always been like my advantage. I was very quick, fast, get point A to point B, and I could score. But when I got there, man, and I ended up being like the designated like defender.
Mm.
I was like,
Let's
okay,
talk about that a little bit because ironically enough, when I came out of college, that was one of the places I had did the same thing you did. Look for an agent. Agent was like, "Hey, I got a spot in Iceland. Can't tell you what team. More than likely, it probably wasn't one of the best teams. I come out of Division Two,
yeah,
so but I didn't go because I was like, look, I need to start making some money. I need to start helping my family, right? And you mentioned about the money part. I think when players or people hear that, oh, you're a professional overseas, or hey, I got an overseas opportunity, they forget that a lot of people go overseas and don't get money. Like it's not even if it is money, it's not a lot of money, depending on what division you in. Did
Yeah,
you have trouble getting your money?
like the kids say, bro, a lot of people they'll go overseas and they'll try to live this life or hold up this facade like they really get into it. Like I wasn't getting to it. Like you said,
Right.
like I could have had a job here at home and made triple what I was making. Like honestly, I took a coaching job where like I think it's important for me to say this because I think we'll get to that later in the conversation. Like I was a girls basketball coach where I coached like 10, 11, and 12-year-old girls.
Uh-huh.
And that was like my job over there outside of playing on the team. And
Mm,
so, like, you know what I'm saying? When I think about that journey, like it set me up for so many things that I'm doing currently. But like, no, like people be really overseas playing for nothing. And I was one of those people. You know what I mean? Like
and remind us how many points you average in college?
17. So my
Average
junior
17 points. Uh-huh.
17, then my senior year, I turned around and averaged 17. So when you think about just even in the Mountain West, that's considered a good conference.
Absolutely.
Like you know what I'm saying? So that's amongst the country. Like for a person, I saw so many people getting jobs that like I had killed. And I'm
Mm,
like, dang, like, but then that's when I started to realize, man, again, these things that you hear as a kid is not what you know, it's who you know.
right.
I didn't know nobody that was in that world or in that industry where, you know, I could take that guidance. Like you saying, I'm just kind of guiding myself, just trying to wish for the best. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, man, I just was like, man,
How,
I'm taking it.
how long were you over in Iceland?
A year.
A year. So you
So
stayed a
that
year.
year, man, I came over there. I'm the defender. So I'm like, I'm trying to embrace it. Like I said, I'm always good with people. So, I done got host families, all types of stuff. I'm moving throughout Iceland. I'm just like, hey man, I ain't one of these Americans like I'm killing time. I'm like, nah, I'm about to embrace it. Like, I ain't about to come over here and be the American that's just in my room every day or just to myself. I'm making friends, basketball, non-basketball, the community.
Mhm.
So man, around Christmas time, luckily I got to come home. Like usually, people know you don't get to come home. So Christmas came and this article came out, and they was like, I'll be very surprised if they bring Marcus Walker back. But it's in Iceland. It's in Icelandic. So
Uh,
back then it wasn't like what they got now where you can just talk some stuff. I'm looking, I'm Google translating, I'm looking, I'm like, dang, I'm doing everything they asking me, but this newspaper saying like, hey, he probably ain't being brought back. At this time, I'm averaging like 10 points. I'm doing the defensive, you know what I'm saying? I'm all my defensive assignments. I'm on the Americans. I'm doing everything they ask, and we got good record, everything. But when you go overseas, you that American, people are expecting you to put up major numbers.
right.
So man, I looked at that mug. I called my mom. I'm like, hey, I'm on my way home. I was like, hey, I don't know what's gonna happen when I get back, but when I get back, I'm going back to who I am. I'm like, and that's that. If they send me home, then it is what it is. I'm going out in a blaze of glory.
Uh-huh.
And I came back that first game, I had 40. After
Mm.
that, it was on. I ended up averaging like 27, 28 points a game. In the playoffs, I averaged almost like 35. Championship game, I scored 40.
And this is Iceland.
This is in Iceland.
Yes,
So I
sir.
went from like being like I said, I felt like I was kind of on a chopping block. And I'm like, all right, if I want this to continue to go for me and I have these different opportunities, I'm like, man, I need to go with who I am.
Right.
So when I came back, I had that 40-point game. And after that, man, it was a good riddance. We ended up winning the championship, uh,
Uh-huh.
won the cup championship. So not only was I being or having success individually, we were winning as a team. And over there, it's all about togetherness. So it's like it currently, if the Chiefs go to the playoffs and we just so happen to lose, you ain't cheering for nobody else. That's how it is overseas. Whoever your team is, that's your team. You don't care who going to the championship. You don't by default cheer for them. It's all about that organization you with. And so, like, again, I was just blessed for that opportunity because it just showed me a lot of things and it made me a lot more grateful and hungry seeing that I had that year off and then was able to come back. So it kind of set me up for what we about to continue to talk about.
Yeah, bro. That's a good story because I think that's what kids don't understand. Like you are the scorer in college or whatever the case, wherever you're coming from, then you go overseas and play, and they have a whole different idea for you.
Yeah.
And the fact that you could actually score 40 given the opportunity, and they didn't see that, got to be a frustrating thing. So I'm glad that you kind of, you shared that story with us.
Yeah. Some people don't want to, they're not patient. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we don't realize people don't see for us what we see for ourselves.
Right,
And so at the end of the day, I knew like, man, these people don't know what they got. They don't know who I am. So I'm like, let me embrace what they want me to do. And I'll have the opportunity to do so because again, like the team that I was on, they already had been winning before I got there. And
right,
so they had some of the better Icelandic players, that ended up being like Icelandic legends. You know what I mean? So I kind of was like, let me figure out how I can insert my piece into their journey. And so
right,
once I figured that out and I got people to like me, I knew then when I came back from Christmas break, I was like, okay, now this is the time for me to go ahead and do what I do because I knew that they would be there probably for the rest of their life. But that
right,
wasn't, I didn't want to continue to play in Iceland for the rest of my career. You know what I'm saying? As much as I liked it, I go over there, man, I done been back to Iceland so many times just off of building relationships since then. That's why I'm so in tune with building relationships as well, because I know they go a long way. But I knew
absolutely.
I didn't want to be there for years. And I saw other Americans coming back within that year. I'm hearing stories. People like, yeah, he been here for 5 years, 6 years. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to be here for 1 year. I got some other plans.
Right.
Yeah.
So you played overseas, and you had an opportunity to be a part of the European culture.
Mhm.
And it's a big topic right now, especially when it comes to playing in the NBA, right? What do you think about the European culture in the NBA right now? Do you think it's better than American culture? Um, what we seeing right now?
I would say no, because I think if I was to ask a kid like what's your goal, they always say college or they always say um that they want to go to the pros, that being the NBA. Like I think overseas comes secondary to those things. And so it's like if that's the goal, those are the places where people highlight individual accolades. But when I was overseas, I would say the difference is it's like how can you become fancy if you skip your fundamentals?
Right,
Over there, like when I was coaching those teams, I was able to insert like the girls that I played, they never had won no championship. But I didn't went over there. I start pressing other teams. I'm telling them, hey, we can't score like that. I knew we didn't have they weren't very skilled girls. Again, I was good at confidence. So I approached it as if like, okay, let me get this girl to believe in me. If I can get them to believe in me, then they'll do whatever I ask them to do. So once I got to learn them and we having, you know, Christmas parties, we getting together for Thanksgiving, stuff like that. Even if that's not their culture, I'm having gatherings and all this other stuff so I can get them to like me. They teaching me the language. I'm around their parents.
mm,
Now, when we get to that court, they like, shit, I like Coach Marcus. Like, all right, you need me to do this? All right, I'll do this. If I need you to dive, I'll dive. So we
right,
ended up winning and doing things that they had never done. But as far as practice, we're doing the basic of the basic. And when I tell you they work out every day, bro, these
mm,
are kids that's not that good.
mm,
But a part of their routine is that, all right, you go to school, you go to your community center or wherever your program is at, and
mm.
you're in there for an hour and a half, you're working on your skills and you're getting better. So from a time frame of like 3 to 4 months, every day, Monday to Friday,
Yeah,
you working out, getting better. And I think that's the difference. Like, it ain't no you go 2 days, you go one day, now you're trying to go to practice. No, you're practicing every day. You know what I'm saying? If you want to become this, I don't care if you a piano player. I don't care if trying to be an architect, whatever your love is or your passion, man, you need to invest in that and put the time in that daily. So
absolutely.
I think that's the difference. Like here, we accept just being talented. Over there, they say, well, what is that talent without the hard work?
Right, right.
So I
I
think
agree. I
different.
agree with you. I think that's the biggest difference from American basketball versus European basketball. Is the NBA? Is the European players better than the NBA players? No. But as far as like the setup to get to the NBA,
Yeah,
yes. For you know what I mean? Like we playing at a youth ages, youth ball. You practice 2 times a week and then you have a game.
yeah,
That's if the kids even come to practice. Versus overseas, they have academies. They're practicing every day. They're
yeah,
focusing on particular skill sets in one practice. You might have one practice where you're just doing all shooting, all ball handling. And I think that's where we need to change in our basketball culture. It needs to be, we need to find a way for it to be every day. If your kid want to play, because now the kids is investing a lot of money. I mean,
yeah.
well,
Oh,
parents is investing a lot of money. So now you're investing money and you're hoping that you get this product that's going to show out on a weekend, but it really needs 5 days a week. It
yes,
needs 5 days a week. So I agree with that, man. I think the overseas culture as far as preparation is better, but not the talent. I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
I think
I
that's
would
what we
agree.
need.
And I think too, like, opportunity go a long way. So, when you're looking at the Lucas, you're looking at the Greek freaks, man, people don't realize like how we are over here. You can be an AAU and the person to be like, yeah, you talented, but I'm not gonna let you play 16U because your age. Man, them people be 14 on the pro teams. They
Yep.
giving them opportunities. So like how we talk about prep school and people reclassing and doing all that to get to a lower level over there, they like, oh, you got this talent. Hey, you need to be playing with these adults. So I think that's what the park used to be. The community centers, like, go play with no consequence. If you have the talent and you have the ability, let me put you on this platform to see if you're really like that. You're going to gain knowledge, wisdom, and the experience. I think the talented kids here for the advancement of their popularity is like, well, play down, play
Mm,
below your grade,
yep.
so you can get the recognition. Well, dang, what if I've been playing and I have examples of this with young ladies that I've been training because everybody know me as the girls trainer.
Right.
Would take a girl in the seventh grade and let her play 17U. Why? Because now these college coaches, not only these college coaches, but you as an individual, you start to have a certain type of aura about yourself, like I belong. So
Right.
what do I expect you to do when you play your peers? I
Uh,
expect you to put on.
absolutely.
Overseas, they give you those opportunities so that you can have the experience. So that okay, now Giannis is this or Luka is this. Yeah, duh. They didn't have the opportunities to be ahead of their time. So
Mm,
I think that's important as well, like experience. I don't think we harp that much on the importance of experience
yep.
as we should, as far as like, okay, let's get the skills.
Yep.
You skilled, but you really ain't got no heart, so you might not even perform those moves that you was working on.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You ain't gonna perform those moves, and you ain't gonna perform it at a high level either. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you ain't even gonna even you've been working in the gym all week on cones and you ain't gonna do none of that. You ain't even you've been shooting and I agree with you, man. It's just the experience. I think players in American culture now, they skipping the experience part. They're
Yeah.
skipping, they're hiding from that playing up. They want the highlights, they want the YouTube, they want the recognition from their mom, their dad.
Yeah.
And you play up when you 14 years old and you playing 17, you might only get in the game for 10 minutes out of 40, but it's still
You might get dunked on. You might get crossed.
yep.
You need those experiences.
Yeah, they trying to avoid that part because they don't want to be on somebody's highlight.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And so you throughout the interview you mentioned you know, everything in your journey sets you up for now. And
Yeah.
now it's Grindhouse basketball. What inspired Grindhouse basketball throughout your from your journey?
Uh, the pain of me being diagnosed with the enlarged heart. So like when I left Iceland, I had the opportunity to play in the Ukraine, which was unique in itself. I was at home playing locally, but at home, like with high school, I own the records. I'm like a big deal in Kansas City. And
Mm-hmm.
so like I have those relationships. So I came across a dude like, oh, if you as good as you think you are, like, come to Vegas with me. I'm like, oh, I got this contract I'm about to get. He said, no, no, no. If you that good, you can get better than that. He was like, because I'm looking at you. He was an NBA player. Now he was helping like pretty much a runner slash agent, like becoming an agent. So
Right.
I took him up on that, man. I went to Vegas first game, dropped 40. I
Mhm.
start having all these offers from all these higher leagues, and then they like, well, where he come from? Iceland. So that was kind of like a dagger in to, the talking process of money and all that. Well, long story short, I ended up getting a very great like opportunity in the Ukraine. Back then, it was man, it was had so many great players from all these different colleges, whatever. Cool, go there. I'm playing half the game. It's five Americans on our team. I'm the youngest. So I
Right.
ended up being the leading scorer. But what happened, our five men ended up getting hurt during the playoffs. We played the number one team. We was the last seed. I ended up averaging like 28 in that series.
Oh,
So the coach on the opposing team was like, well, why you ain't been playing that much? I'm like, man, I'm the youngest. They told me I had to pay my dues, whatever it is, what it is. So he was from Italy. He like, hey, dude didn't even speak English. He had an interpreter. He like, hey man, you too good for this league. He was like, you need to be somewhere else. He's like, you need to be somewhere like Italy. So I'm
mhm.
like, yeah, that sounds good. At this point, like, I had an agent, but like that agent wasn't really working for me. Like, I had to prove myself to them. So when he telling me this, I'm like, yeah, I think that about myself. But hey, you gonna help me? He said, "Hey, look, we got to finish the playoffs." He said, "I'm gonna call you before the time you get home." Man, He called me. Already had the job. My agent didn't know nothing. So my next place, I went to play in Italy. It was like with I don't know. Like right now, people go on social media. It's a dude named Marvin Sanders. He's
Mhm.
like doing amazing down in Dallas. He trained all these athletes, Derrick Henry, all these different people. Like he's popping, like major. Then I had Troy Bell. Troy Bell is like, if I ain't mistaken, he's still currently like the leading scorer of the Big East.
What Boston College, Troy Bell?
Boston College. Hey,
Isn't
when I
it?
tell you, like
Oh,
these dudes were so amazing, bro. Like at home, I always was going against the OGs. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like they like, oh, I'm better than you type of attitude. But when I got there, bro, they spirit and they vet leadership, bro, was so amazing, bro. I never had that type of like big brother. Hey, I'm gonna show you the ropes. Every day, Troy Bell would stay after with me, teach me stuff. He said, bro, I never seen nobody as fast as you with the ball. I didn't play against a lot of people. I didn't seen a lot of stuff. He like, dog, you can make it to the NBA. He's like, I'm telling you, every day he showed me that love, bro. Couple weeks later, doing a physical, because you gotta pass your physical before you play the first regular season game. So we had preseason games. I didn't drop 28, 30, stuff
Mhm.
like that. Boom, you got enlarged heart. I go from playing professional,
You had an enlarged heart.
enlarged heart.
Wow.
So that ended my career essentially as far as a player. Man, when I tell you I go from working my way up from Iceland to going to Italy, I'm talking about my money was so crazy. Like the living situation, I'm living by the beach. I'm experiencing all these things that I had in my head as a kid, and boom, everything gone. I'm on my way back home to Kansas City, and so
Wow.
that pain is what essentially started Grindhouse basketball. And so to see what that has blossomed into, man, and the the amount of people I have changed their lives and that I have come in contact with, this was my calling. This is what God like made me for. So when I started, I didn't embrace it this way. But just to see all the great things that's been happening to me, like me as a player would never be able to have this effect on so many different people's lives like I am today.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. I mean, I didn't know you. I knew you had you went through something physical, but I didn't know it was an enlarged heart, bro. Uh,
Yeah.
so I know that can be painful too, especially when you get the recognition from a guy like Troy Bell, who I watched growing up. It was an amazing player. That had to be like a heartbreaker for you from just getting the recognition from a guy like Troy Bell saying you can make it to the league, and then hearing that you have an enlarged heart. And that started in Grindhouse. And so when you started Grindhouse, what was the thought process behind that as far as what impact you wanted to make on youth athletes?
Put my city on and then just be something that I never had. You know what I'm saying? Being somebody that I could count on, somebody that I looked up to, somebody that was going, you know what I'm saying, believe in me. So it was just essentially when I started, man, was just to put people on from Kansas City. on the national level.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Got a game called Dap Me Up. Let me explain.
Okay.
Explain it correctly. First time doing it. The idea I had behind it, we be in the studio, and I'm gonna give you a question, and if you agree with it, you dap me up. If
So
you
if I don't agree with it, I don't dap
don't
you up.
agree with it, you say nah, and you tell me why.
Okay, okay, okay.
Fair enough?
That's fair.
First question. LeBron over Kobe and Jordan. Damn you.
No.
All right.
This is the
All right.
reason why.
Yeah,
I'm
talk to me.
going, I'm going off of Jordan alone, off of his mentality and the fear that he put in people's heart. Now, LeBron will go down, I think, as the greatest because of like statistics.
Right,
He's going to hold number one in a lot of categories.
right,
But I think like the impact of the game. Now, again, like with myself, we ain't talked about this, but I got non-for-profit that deals with the homeless. I'm very into the community. So the things that LeBron is doing, I think he's done better than both of those players, whether it be Jordan or Kobe.
right.
I think that Kobe would have had a chance with some of the things that he was doing, before he passed. But I'm taking Jordan. I'm taking Jordan.
All right. Listen, people always talk about the mentality about Jordan, and I understand that. I get that. I get the branding behind it. But when you say people that had no fear, I mean, people fear Jordan. Who's to say people didn't fear LeBron though? What moments that like what player right now going at LeBron? Who ever went at LeBron like that? Like what other player?
Man, this is probably gonna sound bad. I definitely need to grow with my knowledge of basketball. I've always been a person that loves the game. I love to be in the gym. I love to do. I'm
Right.
just now getting to I would say the era of my thought process to go out there and just be um like how people are into analytics and they had a computer with
Yeah,
training
that's
and all that.
that's
That
probably me.
I'm not him. You know
All
what
right.
I'm saying?
Fair
And
enough.
I used to be like, man, that's lame, man. They can't hoop, they can't. So, a lot of times, like you gotta experience certain things for you to elevate and grow. I think there's like people and places and things for everybody. But I ain't saying that people don't fear him, but
Hmm.
I will say, like, I more or less identify with the level of fear Jordan placed upon people because when I go to games like in high school, college, and them people are like, oh man, we playing Marcus Walker. I love that. Like now I know that I have a mental advantage over you. Now people might still feel that way about LeBron. I know they do, but I just don't think it's to the level of Jordan and Kobe.
Fair enough. I'll let you
Yeah.
rock with that. Next question. The Lakers won in the Luca and AD trade. Dab me up on that one. Hey, we can't agree. Go ahead. What you got for me?
I say this. I think I think both of them is going to be trial and error. I think that if I had to just say it, I think that it would be more beneficial for Dallas because I think both Luka and LeBron have to have the ball in their hand a lot.
Hmm.
Now, I thought that about Kyrie, but I think that he handled it. I thought he handled Dallas great. Like I thought he would go in there and try to be like the alpha, but like just watching them and seeing how they were able to play together, I think that he took a second role to Luka.
Right,
I don't know if LeBron right now with how he's playing, like he's still the number one. So I don't
right,
know how that's gonna play into Luka's thought process because he's at a point in his career where he needs to be number one.
right. So I look at it. I agree with you. I think Mavs have a slight edge right now,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
think AD, the pressure's off AD with driving that vehicle. I think they have a good unit. They got a good core.
I
Uh,
think he's gonna play amazing in Dallas.
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
As far as the reason why I say the Lakers won, I'm thinking long term. I still don't think Mavs is a championship team just yet.
I would
Long
agree.
term wise, Luca going to the Lakers opened up the door for other players to come. Um, I think is a good chess move long term wise.
Yeah.
I like
So
you.
how long do you see LeBron still playing as a Laker though? That's the question. I agree with you on that, but Like, how long is it gonna take? Because I could see LeBron
Mm,
playing like two more years at least.
yeah, I got 2 more years. I got 2 more years, but I think next year be their year. I think make some good trades. They put
Yeah,
some pieces. I think they get acclimated with each other. Like you, I'm interested in seeing LeBron take the passenger seat. He's never taken the passenger seat on any team he's played for. Every team he's played for, he has MVPs, final MVPs, leading scorer. So it'd be interesting to see him refer to someone else to
yeah.
and do all those things. So I'm with you on. I'm slightly with you, but I'm still say Luka in number one.
Okay, okay.
Next question: Prom Westbrook or Prom Derrick Rose? That was my fault. I got Prom Westbrook over Derrick Rose. Damn yeah, my man. There we go. That yeah,
I'm with you on that.
yeah. I just think you can't replace those triple double years. Although we don't know what Derrick Rose could have been. But I still think like Westbrook, just Hall of Famer. I really want to see him win the ring to put the icing on the cake.
That's why I would say too, him over D Rose, because neither one of them won the ring. But
Right.
when we talking about the impact as far as what he was able to do and how long, you know what I'm saying? I was watching the podcast where they were talking about how people just normalized him getting triple doubles like it's easy.
Yeah.
I'm saying, and so now that they was just talking about Joker, like now how he's on it like that, and it's
Uh-huh.
like, dang, where was the same energy for him? You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? He's just not the likable person because of how aggressive he is. I think he's too rah-rah for a lot of people. But like we was talking about with the Jordan thing, like I love players like that. That's why Iverson's my all-time favorite. I just liked his approach.
likewise.
I felt like my game and how I played was identical to his. So like I'm more like, yeah, I know Jordan's the greatest of all time, but this is my goal. And like
Mm.
that's why, boy, I didn't got to do a lot of things. Once I meet Iverson, bro,
Uh-huh.
man, look, bro,
I
I'm gonna
heard that.
yeah, but
Yeah, I
nah,
love that.
I would take him over D Rose. And like you said, man, it's a lot of what ifs. And so, you think about the injuries that preventing him from probably being what he possibly could have been. But I'm a man. Russell Westbrook, I'm rocking with, bro.
My man. Next question. I got Jalen Green over Norman Powell. Dab me up on that.
Jalen Green over Norman Powell.
You-
Yeah, yeah, I will.
yeah,
I,
my
I
guy.
say that because like his youth. I think
Hmm.
like Norman Powell do be out there getting buckets. He making things happen with the Clippers. But I'll rock with Jalen Green.
Jalen
I
Green.
would like to see a lot more of him. Like I said, the Rockets ain't on TV as much to kind of see like his day to day.
Uh-huh.
But like he's blossoming. And Rockets are doing decent this year, so you could at least say that they progressing and getting better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Aaron Fox over Trey Young. Dab me up on that. Aaron Fox over Trey
Nah, I can't dap you on that one.
Young.
And this is the reason.
Listen, I'm listening.
They both to this point have been in not so good situations as far as teams winning. And I think that the Kings have been slightly better, but I think that people like discredit what Trey Young is doing. Like he's playing amazing. Like he's having a very good NBA career. Not saying that De'Aaron Fox
Yeah,
ain't, but I guess I would just rock with him a little bit more.
okay. I'm gonna
I
let you
like
rock.
the villain role too. Like De'Aaron Fox is too under the radar.
That's
Man,
because he played with the Sacramento
threw his
Kings.
coach under the
He in a
bus.
bad market.
Yeah, I can't rock with that. Bro threw his coach under the bus. I can't rock with that. If we all gonna sink, let's just go down together. But when De'Aaron Fox was like, "Oh, he still get paid," and I didn't rock with that.
But that's fair. Look, I ain't even gonna argue on that. I like De'Aaron Fox over him because I think we just haven't seen De'Aaron Fox play as much because of the market he's in. But bro been averaging over 25 points for the last 4 years. I think
Yeah,
Trey Young is amazing as well. But Trey Young has been doing the same thing since he started. The 22 points, 10 assists. He's been doing it
yeah,
for a long time, and really, I mean, he had one good year where they almost got to the Eastern Conference Finals.
yeah.
But I'm gonna go with De'Aaron Fox. I think he's in a good position with Wemby now. Still a small market, but they want to get more TV time because Wemby on there.
Yeah.
So, I think his career, the trajectory of his career is going to be a little better than Trae Young at this point.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would agree. Going there, like that's an organization that's well respected,
mhm,
expected to win. So I can't see him having like as far as like his career, like in on
absolutely.
the increase. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
That me up. Prep school over JUCO.
Nah.
Sheesh.
And I say this.
Go ahead.
Only reason why with them added 2 years and it doesn't affect you, what's the difference? You can play with grown people or you can play with kids. When we talked
Yep.
about the experience, now prep ain't gonna be prep. If you can go to junior college and play with these grown men and
Mm,
get better,
good point. Good
it's
point.
kind of like going overseas when a person like, oh yeah, I don't want to go to college. I'm gonna get this experience going overseas. Well, now for a kid, instead of going prep, I'm gonna go play with this prep got grown men in there too. They be too old.
Uh-huh.
Now you're gonna have this person that didn't experience real life. You got people in JUCO that's they hungry. They coming from the slums. They, you know what I'm saying? They just ain't in a certain situation because their grades might be bad, whatever. And you have the same cases in prep to a certain, but I think prep is like more finesse. It's people trying to find the next this person or that person.
Mm,
JUCO, you got this person now to somebody's hood, like, hey, this is my last shot. I'm gonna take that person in JUCO.
fair enough. I mean, I think like I'm gonna go back to what you said. I think it's situational. Situational meaning if a player is actually ready to play in junior college and is actually gonna get some minutes, that will be the difference between playing in prep school and junior college.
Yeah,
Um, But if you're not ready for it and you ain't really get the exposure or didn't get the right coaching when you was in high school, and now you can play on a circuit where you're being seen by college scouts. Because I don't think every college scout is going to go after the junior college players. Because that was
yeah,
like that when we was coming out. Every Duke wasn't going after junior college players. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So I don't think it will be beneficial for everyone, but I can see your side as well as anyone else's side who don't say prep school is a good route.
Right.
So next question. Training over playing in games. That me up. You a trainer, bro. Training over playing in games.
Are we throwing in the mix of what we talked about already of like open gyms? Is that a part of games or is that a part of training?
I'm gonna say that's a part of training. I'm gonna say part of training. Games is with refs. My man. There we go. There we go. Next question. Before a game, what would you prefer? I'll say music over sleep. My man, I can't take me. It take me too long. It take me too long to.
Man, you take a nap, man, it knock your whole vibe off.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta go with the music,
Give
bro.
me the music and I'm straight. I'm ready for the game.
I heard that. Movies. He got game over loving basketball. No, damn yeah, that's an easy one. Damn.
I love loving basketball, bro. I don't know why. I don't
Loving
know
basketball
why.
over he got game. Jesus
Jesus
Shuttlesworth.
Shuttlesworth? Ah.
Bro, that's a different. Listen, bro, I watched that every day before I worked out when I was a young boy.
Oh man, it'd be different if you said above the rim or something.
Oh, you'll take loving basketball over a butter rim? I thought a butter rim and he got game would be a hard choice. I thought this would be an easy one.
Man, I don't know. I'll
You like
rock
what
with
you like
maybe,
about loving basketball so much, man?
bro.
You had you had that visualization too.
You
A
know
girl
what?
playing
What I
basketball.
what I love about it because it was just two people's journey, like just trying to figure it out, trying to mix. Because I think that what really be going on sometimes when people go to college, they try to find their love and it match what they doing, and not. I think that was like something that's super realistic in a sense.
Right.
But I mean, Jesus Sutherworth was so cold though. Like
Oh, bro.
I don't want to disrespect that movie like that.
If you didn't know basketball, Jesus Shuttlesworth introduced you to Ray Allen.
For real though.
Facts.
Hey, literally, you would
Uh,
the whole you wouldn't even think that's Ray Allen. That's how
absolutely.
that. I'm all right, man.
My
I,
man,
I
my
might,
man.
I might switch that up. I mean, because I would say be like, oh man, Jesus Shuttleworth. Oh, that's Ray Allen. That's
Uh,
how good that movie was.
that was a dope movie. Now,
Yeah,
probably this interview gonna come out next week. We got All-Star Weekend.
yeah.
The original All-Star format or the new All-Star format. Original All-Star
What's the new?
format.
What's the new one?
The new one is they have a tournament. They have a tournament now. So it's
Okay.
eight guys on the team. It's the Rising Stars versus the Rising Stars, and it's the G League guys. Is the 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 fans pick East and West.
Yeah.
So whoever wins out of that. So it's
I
like
didn't know that. I didn't know that. So the
uh,
G League could play LeBron in them.
yep, yep, and they can win.
That's cold. I think,
So no dat. So I like the original. So no dat me up. You like the
yeah.
okay?
And
Fair
this is the
enough.
reason why. You get so many different rules, and every year you got something about the game that's changing.
Uh-huh.
Give that person that nobody knows an opportunity because we hear these stories time and time again about how the best players never made it to the NBA for whatever reason or these circumstances. What if there's a player in the G League that's better than the opportunity he's been given?
Mm,
Now he may be on that team to go and play LeBron, play Greek Freak, whatever. And this person might show the world like, hey, this is real. Like we go. We just
right,
might not have been in the right situation to have our talents be exposed to this type of platform.
right.
So I would say I'm going with the new one right now because it could give a person an opportunity that may have never came across it
Fair enough. I like
on a very great stage. It's not like the finals or nothing, but people watch the All-Star game.
you watched the All-Star game, and I think more people
And it's
watch.
kind of been now you going with the original, it's kind of been lame though. Like it ain't
The,
really so
I'm talking about the original. When we get to vote and we get to see the players we want to
that
see.
you want.
Yeah, like you can have a LaMelo Ball in there, even though his team is
Would you
less.
have picked him this year?
Yeah, I wanted him in there.
You would have picked. Okay.
I would have picked him for sure. I mean, he's a talented kid. He a guy who I say he's doing a lot of talking, but not making a lot of noise when it comes to winning. But
What about like Trey Young then?
I think Trey Young should have been in there too. But like I said, we already seen the Trey Young story already. The 22 points, 10 assists.
Yeah.
I like seeing Tyler Harrell in there this year for his first time. I like it because he averaging 23 points. Miami has a better record. He's been doing this thing for a while.
Yeah.
I like to see somebody new in there. So, I don't think Trey Young got snubbed completely.
Yeah.
But if we had an extra spot, sure, Trey Young get in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Last question. Last question. Eagles over Kansas City Chiefs. You got to dap me up on
Never.
this.
Never. Hey, we about to get the first three-peat off. So even though it already happened before this episode come out, man.
So you got Kansas City.
Yes,
Oh man, this
most
is gonna be a good
definitely.
one.
Now
This is gonna be
look,
a good one.
hey, Jalen Hurt, good year.
Uh-huh.
You didn't got the women popping off with your agent. I love all of that. But no, we going for the first three-peat. Mahomes is about to be put in a situation. Man, Mahomes win this right now with where he's at in his age. He's gonna arguably have a case to be if he's able to continue to be put on the pedestal of like a Jordan and stuff. What he's doing at this age,
If he can do it, I agree. I think he's already there. I think he's an amazing quarterback. But getting you guys definitely on keeping you guys on the map.
yeah, I love that because, like I said, man, a lot of the things that I do is based off of Kansas City. Kansas City now, God has blessed me to be present in different areas across the country. But when I'm going to these places, I'm repping Kansas City so much. When we started winning with the Chiefs, now people don't say, "Hey, man, is that like the Wizard of Oz?" And I'm like, "Come on, bro. I'm
And
in
that's
Missouri."
definitely my introduction to Kansas.
Yes, nah, I'll be like, nah, man. People know, hey, man, where you from? Kansas City, Missouri or Kansas? Missouri.
Mm,
So no, it's good that we winning. He do that, man. And I really appreciate like the Kansas City Chiefs right now, man. A lot of them brothers, they into the community, man. They visual, man.
Mhm.
And I think that means the world because sometimes you have these superstars and they not really present. They in your city, your communities, but they not visual or nor are they touchable. They do
Right.
a lot of like outreach within the community and stuff like that. So I think too, man, I would really love to see them do that, man, for our city.
Well, we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. We only got about 24, more than 24 hours, but
Yeah.
got 48 hours almost. Because we're doing this on a Friday. So we're gonna see. But I got my Eagles, man. I'm not a big football guy, but anytime the Eagles is doing good, I'm there with them, but just by default.
You
Straight.
like me, man. I like football, but you know what I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is, bro. We're gonna see, bro. So before we get out of here, let everybody know where they can find you. Yeah, where they gotta find you, what upcoming projects or anything you got going on.
Oh man, I'm located Kansas City, Missouri, man. I'm on a quest to share my gifts and my talent with the world. So trying to get into every market, you know what I mean? I'm dipping off into an NIL space where I'm helping, young athletes explore that. And then too, man, I'm just out here just trying to be a good person in the space, trying to give knowledge or, bring awareness to things that's going on in amateur sports. It's always been my passion and my gift and I feel my calling to work with the amateurs. I ain't got no desire to go train nobody in the NBA or WNBA. If that comes to me, cool. But I feel like me being a person that can guide somebody on the amateur level to be like, hey, you can do this and you can eliminate this step or whatever. And so yeah, man, that's what I got going, man. I'm on Instagram, Grindhouse Basketball. I'm on Facebook, Grindhouse Basketball. I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok. Man, I'm on everything, man. So yeah, man, I'm just trying to be out here, man. And when it's all said and done, man, leave a legacy that my son and my family will be proud about.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up, man. Like I said, man, great to meet you. Appreciate the stories. Very inspiring and the last game, but definitely fun. Definitely keep in touch. Let's keep in touch. Keep doing your thing for what you're doing as far as
Yeah.
being an amazing trainer and putting on for your city, bro.
Keep that game in your episode, man. I like to dap it up.
Yeah, appreciate
I
that,
like to
bro.
dap
Much
it up. I
love.
try not to agree too much so I can give the explanation.
My God, my God. All right, there you have it. Another interview on Score Society TV. You already know what to do. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, let's continue to think elite and together. Welcome to Score Society.